What's up, guys? Raymaster Flex here. Happy New Year, everybody. And this year we're gonna kick it right off with a video from me. As I said before, this year I plan on making this channel bigger, badder, and better. And now 2016 has washed the dishes away, and we're gonna kick it off right here with a video. Now, first video I'm gonna do is regarding to the WWE. There's been a lot of talk about wrestlers who people believe should turn heel, the people believe should turn babyface. Well, I'm going to do one of two videos of top 5 wrestlers. And the first one I'm going to do right now is the top 5 wrestlers that I believe should turn heel. And of course, one thing that I'm having an advantage of this year is I'm writing more stuff on paper so that I won't have to just think about it while I'm doing it recording like I am right now. So without further ado, let's get started. At number 5, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler has really not had that much momentum going ever since as far back to 2014. He's really been irrelevant for a long time now. And how many times are we going to keep seeing Dolph Ziggler put into title pictures only to lose time and time and time again? What they need to do is they need to refresh Dolph Ziggler. They need to give him some time off. They need to just have him come back with a whole fresh new start. It's just a shame what's how the booking with Dolph Ziggler has been as of late. This is a man who's a 2-time world champion, but both of his reigns were very short. His first one was very controversial in 2011, only for him to lose it the same night to Edge that year. His second reign was when he won the Money in the Bank. He won the Money in the Bank in 2012, cashed it in the night after WrestleMania against Ambrose Del Rio, when he had just defeated Jack Swagger, only to lose the title on his first title defense, which was at Payback that year. So it was a very short reign. Both of his reigns were very short. And you know, at that time period, he was a heel, but it's just kind of like ever since they turned him babyface, it hasn't been the same for him. The last time I could really say that Dolph Ziggler was actually on point was pretty much around the time of 2014 or so, because that was the last year he actually held something. Just when we thought that Dolph Ziggler was going to reach the mountain again, just when we thought that he was raising the big heights late last year, when they had that incredible storyline between him and The Miz, when he put his career on the line, only for him to win the match, only for him to lose the title just a couple of nights before Survivor Series, which disappointed a lot of people because we wanted to see Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn at Survivor Series, not The Miz versus Sami Zayn. But of course, The Miz won the title right back from Dolph Ziggler, even though he had beaten him for it at No Mercy, and it was one of Dolph Ziggler's only title wins this year. But I feel as though if you're not going to really find anything decent to do with Dolph Ziggler, your best option is to just either have him take time off, come back and refresh, or just have him restart his old character again, because this babyface gimmick is just not working for Dolph Ziggler. I mean, how many times we're going to keep seeing Dolph Ziggler being misutilized, put into the title picture, only for him to lose each and every time? I mean, it's just getting absolutely ridiculous. It's like at this point they need to find some way to rebuild and reboost Dolph Ziggler, because ever since he's been babyface, really, it just has not been working for him. I mean, he had one of the worst storylines of the year last 2015 now summer with Rusev, with the whole over Rusev's at the time girlfriend. But then when they found out they were actually getting married, they had to cut the storyline completely, which Vince was mad about, but a lot of people are happy about, because none of us all wanted to see that. So, that's number 5, Dolph Ziggler. I think he definitely needs to turn heel, because if he doesn't, it's just going to get worse and worse for him. At number 4, Dean Ambrose. Now, it's funny because there are some people who favor Dean Ambrose. There are some people who are against Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose, the point of his name, the Lunatic Fringe, actually goes back to when he was in the Shield. And when they were having their little cracks, Dean Ambrose was always the one that was acting crazy. And it just seems like since then, it's just not the same Dean Ambrose that we seen at that time period. The Dean Ambrose that actually was a lunatic is not the same Dean Ambrose we see now. Dean Ambrose was crazy as the Shield was breaking up. And he had that. He was even crazier when he rivaled with Seth Rollins after he turned his back on the Shield. But lately, this has just been like the watered down version of the Lunatic Fringe. It's not the same Lunatic Fringe that we seen at first. I mean, first of all, the booking for Dean Ambrose has not been that great. First of all, in 2015, his first pay-per-view win didn't even come until he beat Luke Harper in a street fight at Extreme Rules that year. That was like his very first pay-per-view win, because he had had constant pay-per-view losses in 2014, and in 2015 that was his first pay-per-view win. And I mean, like I said, and then for him to climb and then eventually win the Money in the Bank last year, and then the cash in against Seth Rollins, a lot of people were excited. But then when it came to how they actually booked him as champion, he had that match with Dolph Ziggler that wasn't that great at SummerSlam, and then next thing you know, he loses the title to AJ Styles. I mean, he did have a great match with his former Shield members at Battleground. It's just kind of like, they need to find something to do with Dean Ambrose, because the Dean Ambrose right now is not the same Dean Ambrose that he was back then. They just need to regroup Dean Ambrose. He needs to turn heel. I think that's the best way for him to suit, because you got some people who cheer for him, some people that boo him, and I think in Dean Ambrose's case, he definitely needs a heel turn, because what we're seeing right now is not the same kind of Lunatic Fringe that we saw 3 years ago or so. It's not the same kind of Lunatic Fringe, the way how they've been booking him. I mean, you think about his match with Lesnar this year, you think about, it's just so many things you think about. All these things that happened in 2016, only for him to be champion at the same year, which is probably why he lost it so quickly, because they saw that it wasn't working out for him. But definitely he needs a heel turn. I think that's the safest route to do it, because if they don't give him a heel turn, then I think his career would just continue to kind of drain down a little bit. I mean, just look right now, they got him dealing with The Miz, but before you know it, they might have him in another weird thing. So it's no telling what can happen with Dean Ambrose's career. And number 3, Roman Reigns. Now, a lot of people, there are some people that are for Roman Reigns, there are some people that are against Roman Reigns. There's no denying that Roman Reigns, as of right now, they try to use as like the underdog. They try to use as the new version of John Cena, or so to speak. I think Roman Reigns has improved on the mic as of late, but it's just the problem of how they book him, of why so many people don't like him. Me, for one, I'm not going to be that guy to be like, oh, I favor him, or I like him, or I dislike him. But I know that there are people who like him. I know there's people that dislike him. And you have a right to your opinion. But Roman Reigns, honestly, he just needs a tune-up. I think it would be very smart for them to have him turn heel, because the amount of boos he gets. I mean, here's the weird part. When he's at house shows, he doesn't get boos. It's just on Raw that he gets boos, and that's because people find it funny for them to all do that. But, to each his own. Audience are able to do whatever they want. But I think that, Roman Reigns should indeed turn heel, because it would really help him with his career, because then people won't have to worry about booing him so much. I mean, just look at the Usos. The Usos were baby faces for a while now. They had been baby faces really since about 2011, 2012, something like that. And they turned heel last year on the American Alphas, and people didn't expect that. And now the heel Usos are one of the best things that I like right now. When they turned heel, it was one of the best options they ever made. And I even actually want them to be tag team champions, the next tag team champions after the American Alphas loses the titles, to drop it to the Usos, because I think they'll be amazing as champions. And Roman Reigns, he needs that. He needs to turn heel, because, I mean, the longer he's faced, there are some people who think he should stay babyface, but, I mean, it's just not working. There are some people who can work as a heel and a babyface, and there are some people that can just clearly work as a heel. And one of the reasons why a lot of people like Roman Reigns as a heel anyway is because he didn't talk that much on the mic. The only thing he used to say when he was in the Shield was, believe in the Shield, was like his main catchphrase he would say. But he didn't really do much of the talking. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins were the main ones speaking. Roman Reigns kind of just stood back and let them be on the mic. And that's why when he was a heel, it worked for him. And that's why people actually cheered for him. But when he turned babyface, I mean, the whole concept of just making it where Roman Reigns is just this powerhouse and where he can't be beaten and kicks out at everything and just won the spear and it's over. I mean, people just hate that concept. And so what they need to do is, if they're going to continue with this, the only way they're going to even expect Roman Reigns to get over is by making him heel. It's just not going to work as him being a babyface, because people are going to continue to boo him. They're going to continue to say how much they hate Roman Reigns. They're going to continue to do that. So their best option is to turn him heel. At number 2, Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, same thing. The boss that we see now is not the same boss that she was at first. And especially with the way that they've been playing hot tomatoes with the women's championship, they definitely need to do something with Sasha Banks. I know they're starting this storyline between her and Nia Jax, but no, they seriously need to do something with Sasha Banks, because Sasha Banks, she's got a lot of talent. There are some people who are for her, there are some people that are against her, but I think that Sasha Banks needs a heel turn, because that's the only way that she's going to really get over. The fact that you got her as a babyface, but you can't even keep her champion for longer than a month, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So, and I always felt like if they were going to keep having Charlotte win it back on pay-per-views, then why give Sasha Banks the championship in the first place? Why not just have Charlotte keep the title if you're going to keep changing the title, keep flipping it around? And I know Vince had something to do with this, because the creative even kind of disagreed with him with his booking, with his ideas, because Vince has the last say in everything. But it's just kind of like, if you're going to keep doing that, it's no point in giving Sasha Banks a championship in the first place. And it's just kind of annoying, because you got people like Trish Stratus, who won seven women's championships, 7 Divas championships at the time, I think it was called that. And she won them at different time periods. She didn't just win them week after week or pay-per-view after pay-per-view. She earned all those titles. But then you got Sasha Banks and Charlotte, who they make it seem like they're the only 2 divas in the division right now that are deserving to be the women's champion. I mean, now you got Charlotte dealing with Bayley, but honestly, I love Bayley to death, but I think Charlotte had a lot of more her best matches with Sasha Banks. So, I just think that they need to figure out what they're going to do with that, because it's just not working for Sasha. She needs to be healed, because her babyface run is just really going down the drain. The boss that we've seen before, it's not the same boss. The boss we've seen in NXT, and when she first burst on the scene when the women's revolution started, that's the boss I like. But now it's just not the same one. And number one, most people probably expect this: John Cena. John Cena, if not, has been a babyface for 10 years now. Well, actually, even longer than that. And he's had plenty of occasions where he could have turned heel. Plenty. There's been plenty of times where he could have turned heel. Perfect example of that was the storyline he had against The Rock in 2012, doing it once in a lifetime. Really, 2011 before that, because there were plenty of times that he did heel tactics. Perfect. One example was WrestleMania, when he pretended like he was going to do the people's elbow, only to get rock bottomed and lose the match. Also, let's not forget at ECW One Night Stand, the heel tactics he did there, because the audience just did not like him and they were all in favor of Rob Van Dam. They only supported ECW stars. So John Cena in that match did heel tactics. I mean, there's been plenty of times in recent years that John Cena have done things that have been heel tactics. And I think that John Cena, this is like the perfect time now to turn him heel. He's been a babyface for far too long. John Cena has been a babyface for far too long, and people are tired of it. I mean, on John Cena's return to SmackDown Live this past last Tuesday night, he got booed as if he was Kurt Angle. People were cheering, "John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks." I mean, every once in a while, eventually, and this has been something that has been going on with Cena for years now, where people chant, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," but never have they chanted John Cena sucks as if he's Kurt Angle. And as a wrestler, for some people it don't get to them, but eventually it has to get to you. And the way how Cena is acting currently, especially with the promo he dropped last Tuesday, it's almost as if it would be a perfect timing for him to have a heel turn, especially with the stuff he said. He was like, "I'm John Cena. I just did," basically challenging whoever won the main event at the Royal Rumble for the title, and he was like, "I'm John Cena," and it's kind of like, I can do what I want kind of attitude. And this is the attitude that we need from John Cena. This is the attitude that John Cena, that he progresses. This is the attitude that he somewhat had back in his Dr. Dugganimis days, except then he used to talk a lot of trash, and he always would get his butt beat in almost every match he had with certain people he talked trash about. But I'm not saying that Cena should go back to his Dr. Thugonomis gimmick. I just feel like he should turn heel. I think that now is the perfect time more than ever to do it. He's been a babyface for a very long time now. He's been a babyface since 2003. At this point, that's been almost 14 years he's been a babyface. And it's just like, the crowd isn't into it no more. It was a thing at first, but after about 2005, he started to get a lot more boos, because they were getting tired of how his promos were going. They were getting tired of how they were booking Cena. And Cena, the whole thing with him being the face that runs the place, that's getting old now. You got other stars that have risen. In some people's minds, they believe AJ Styles has taken that frame. He's taken that name. And I can't disagree with them, because this, 2016 was really the year of AJ Styles. For him to make his debut as quick as he did, people knew he was coming, but still, it was something of enjoyment to see. And for him to turn heel in May, during Cena's return, for people to be cheering for AJ Styles and Cena, only for him to win the title just about 3 months after that, is just amazing. But John Cena, above anyone else, needs to turn heel. Because He's had plenty of times to do it, like I mentioned before, the Cena Rock excitement from 2011, 2013. As long as that went, he had plenty of times he did heel taxes in that. You know, the thing with Cena and RVD at One Night Stand could have turned heel that night. He had the right time, perfect time to do it. I mean, like I said, everybody doesn't believe Cena should turn heel. There are some people that are for it. There are some people that are against it. There are some people who love Cena. There are some people who hate the heck out of Cena. Same thing with Roman Reigns. But Cena should turn heel, and I think the proper way to do that is, you know, not to necessarily make him go back to his old style, but to let him be the same guy he is right now, but just be more aggressive and more efficient and more that attitude that he has right now, where I'm Cena, I can do what I want. Because technically, he cannot just go and put himself in a title match and just get away with it. That's not how it's supposed to go. I recall you're supposed to go and wrestle in the #1 contenders match. But Cena's attitude right now is kind of like, I'm John Cena. I can do what I want, when I want. And I hope that this Tuesday, Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon comes and says something like, you don't call the shots around here. You know, you can't just put yourself in a title match. And first of all, why would he even be deserving of a title match if he's already lost to AJ Styles not once but twice but 3 times? And, you know, and one of those times just happened to be in a title match, which was his very last pay-per-view at No Mercy. But, you know, John Cena should turn heel. It's about time that he does it. I mean, I know that some people fear that his cereal and all that stuff, some people fear that his merchandise is going to go down if he turns heel, because there's a lot of kids that he supports and things like that. There's a lot of children he does things with. I understand that, but you gotta understand, to a certain degree, you can only do for so much with a character. And Cena has been playing the same Super Cena character for so long now. It's about time he changes that and just completely turn heel. It's about time that he refreshes into something new. I mean, this is for every wrestler. Your character, after a while, is going to play out. This is why they have people turn heel. This is why they have people turn face. This is why they do that, because, you know, after a while, it just gets boring. You know, you keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. And in Cena's case, it just gets boring after a while. And the best thing they need to do is just, like I said, keep Cena the same way he is right now, but make him heel. It will work so much more, because, I mean, the amount of boos that he's getting, the same way for Roman Reigns, it's just kind of like you can't ignore the fact that he's getting all these boos. And at some point, that's got to get to him. So, you know, the best thing that they need to do is turn him heel. I think that it would be a very smart move, and they should do it very unexpectedly. We could see him do it at the Royal Rumble. He could just randomly win the title from AJ Styles and then hit him with an attitude adjustment after he wins it. Or he gets disqualified. You know, a lot of people want to see Undertaker attack Cena and cause, or even distract Cena, cause him to lose the match. But as far as Cena turning heel, you know, anything can happen. He can mess around, attack AJ Styles, and it can be a double face turn. And I would love to see that, a double turn at the same time. This has already happened. Just think about WrestleMania 13 with Bret the Hitman Hart in Austin. It was a double turn. Bret turned heel, Austin turned babyface. It's the same thing could happen here. Cena could do some heel tactics. Cena could mess around, win the match in a heelish way, and then that would turn him as a heel, and AJ Styles would be the babyface. I mean, because obviously people like AJ Styles a lot more than they like Cena, but they like a lot more people than like Cena. But that's my list. I know it's long, but that's my list. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys watch this video all the way. Don't go anywhere, because there will be another video similar to this one of another top 5 wrestlers. And like I said earlier, like I've said before early in this video, Happy New Year to all you guys. I hope you guys have a great year this year. I plan on having a great year. I plan on this channel being a lot more bigger, badder, and better. Signing off, Raymaster Flex. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys another day. Peace.